Do you know what leaders' attributes are? Do you know what the importance of leaders' attributes is? Do you know how to incorporate leaders' attributes in your everyday tasking? Good afternoon, junior leaders. My name is Corporal Brian Singleton, and today's brief will be over leaders' attributes. Many junior leaders do not understand what leaders' attributes are. They don't understand what the importance of leaders' attributes is, and they don't understand how to incorporate leaders' attributes in their everyday taskings. Over today's agenda, I will be going over what leaders' attributes are, what the importance of leaders' attributes is, and how to incorporate leaders' attributes in everyday taskings. So, with leaders' attributes, the inequalities that make a leader effective are attributes. For the Army, we have three main attributes. They are character, presence, and intellect. With character, it is having the Army values or displaying discipline in your personality. Having character, qualities of that are also being empathetic or living by the warrior ethos. With being empathetic, that can be you as a soldier or as a leader sitting down with your soldier and speaking to him on a person-to-person basis instead of just talking to him like he's just a lower enlisted soldier and you're the person above him. Doing that can help you gain more trust and respect from that soldier. Presence is displaying resiliency or a military bearing to subordinates. Presence is also showing confidence and actually physically being there for your soldiers. Resiliency is the ability to bounce back and overcome. And if you're able to do that, your soldiers will see that you have a strong mental state. Which brings me to my next point, intellect. So with intellect, it is having the mental agility or being able to innovate in different taskings. So having mental agility, all of our commanders do it, all of our officers do it. They're always changing the task at hand, or they're changing the way they want something done. So you as a leader being able to use your mental mind state and changing it directly over into another mental mind state is having that mental agility to bounce from one way of doing something to another. And innovating, that can be as simple as you not having the right tool that you need to do a specific job. You could go over to another vehicle and ask for the tool, or even to another soldier and ask him if he has the tool in his toolbox. But now that you know what leaders' attributes are, what is the importance of leaders' attributes? Without leaders' attributes, a leader will not be nearly as effective as a leader with attributes. With character, the importance is because a soldier needs or a leader needs to have trust and discipline from his soldiers. If you do not have trust from your soldiers, how will you rely on them to complete a task that you assign them? Or if you don't have discipline from them, how are you going to have respect from them or even trust them to go out in town and have fun and be disciplined and not get too drunk and just start partying everywhere? And then presence is important because soldiers need a role model there to look up to. I know for me, my role model is Staff Sergeant Pereira. And when he was my leader, he was always showing his presence down in the motor pool whenever we were working. He was, constantly down there, like watching us work, and he was gaining our confidence and making us work more efficiently. He was also always down there just teaching us stuff that we did not know about and helping us grow our knowledge, which brings me to my next point, intellect. Intellect is important because, as a leader, because you need to have knowledge to demonstrate mental agility to your soldiers. If you are demonstrating knowledge to your soldiers, you're going to help them know that you know what you're doing. They're going to trust you more, and they're going to have more respect for you because you do know what you're doing. If you have that mental agility, that is important because if you break down under pressure just because an officer changes the task that you're doing or the way that you need to do it, if you get super frustrated about that, your soldiers are going to get super frustrated. And that's the last thing that needs to happen. If you have that mental agility to just say Roger and change your mental state from that task to the new mental state to accomplish the new task, your soldiers are going to be able to do the same and not be nearly as frustrated as they were if you were frustrated. But with all that being important, how do you incorporate leaders' attributes in your everyday taskings? With character, it is seen as maintaining a military bearing and by respecting superiors. So, by military bearing, that can be just simple as passing a PT test. You're doing your simple stuff that you need to do as a soldier. You could be just knowing your actual warrior ethos, or even just knowing your Army values or soldier's creed. Also, showing empathy at work is, us junior leaders, we have to counsel soldiers. So if we counsel a soldier, talking to them like they're nothing and like they're just a soldier, it's not going to work. So if you're actually empathetic, you are showing him your character and that you see him as a person and not just as a robot. Also, respecting superiors can be standing at parade arrest for an NCO who is appointed above you, or even saluting an officer. Presence is seen as being confident in what you do and physically being there for your soldiers. So for me, I had a soldier fail his PT test. Instead of telling him to do it on his own, I was there with him every step of the way. I was running with him to improve his time, and I was there when he took his PT test to make sure that he passed. Him seeing that I was there, he respects me way more, and I even encouraged him to pass his PT test, and now he is always on top of his stuff. Being present is also being confident in what you do. I tell my soldiers all the time before they go to the board to be confident in what they say, whether they know the answer or not. Be confident and do not let them see you as being weak. Intellect is seen as teaching soldiers the knowledge and being able to adjust the command team's task changes. So being able to show them your knowledge makes them know that you know what you're doing. If a soldier does not have, or if a soldier asks you a question and you don't have the knowledge to give him an answer, he's not going to be able to rely on you anymore. So if you have that knowledge, then you are able to help him out. And then with mental agility, if our officers, like I said earlier, are always changing what they want done or how they want something done. So literally just going from doing something one way to doing something another way just because the officers tell us a different way to do something or what to do differently, that's showing your mental agility and showing your intellect at work. At the beginning of this brief, many junior leaders did not know exactly what leaders' attributes are. They didn't know what the importance of leaders' attributes were. They also didn't even know how to incorporate leaders' attributes in their everyday taskings. But now that we are done with this brief, I want you to take the knowledge that you've learned here today, and I want you to use it in your everyday life, and I want you to strive to become the NCO that you have long strived to be. Are there any questions? This concludes my brief.